Welcome to the Stevia Show. It's the Stevia Show. Helping you expand on what you know. Throw in a meme of the week and a review of the screen. And to have a show that covers everything.
Hey, Team Stevia, and welcome to episode 103 of the Stevia Show.
Talk show podcast that covers pop culture, world news, local artistry, and everything in between.
Things don't change. This is Steven.
And this is Lydia.
And we hope everybody's having a great day today. And if you are watching on YouTube, you will notice that we are joined by three devilishly handsome men. And this is going to be the band Beachfriends. So how are you all doing today?
We're good.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. We're excited to talk about y'all's music and kind of do a July and Christmas type sort of thing because of the vibes that you all give out. But we have to do Stevia business first, and Lydia is super stoked about this because she is currently the edgelord for Meme of the Week. And Lydia, what was your meme?
Well, let me tell you. Long story short, my meme was about Joe.
Okay.
Because I guess it wasn't about Joe.
This one wasn't. This is the one that
this
sparked
one
the
wasn't
controversy.
About Joe.
Yeah.
This is what sparked my memes with Joe. But it was a meme. It's Loki, and he basically is he goes, I have to get off this planet, in the middle of one of the movies. And so I said, me, when a vaccine comes out that works 95% of the time against a deadly virus, but people still don't want to get it. And then it says, I have to get off this planet.
Yeah, sign me up for that vaccine.
It looks like you are off the planet, Lydia.
I am.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that's good call, Charlie.
Yeah, she's accomplished her goal. That's awesome.
That was a very big brain background you had.
That was
Yeah.
nice.
That was 100% intentional. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
So because you had to go with the theme. And Lydia, you do have media this week. So what did we watch? Or what did you
real
watch?
quick.
Not me.
Yeah, not you. You probably didn't watch anything, did
No.
you, Steve-O?
Nope. Oh,
Not
I watched
even The Mandalorian?
No, I haven't seen any of The Mandalorian, but I did watch the new Grinch movie with Benedict Cumberbatch that came out 2 years ago.
Oh,
it was good. I liked it. It was cute. Yeah.
That's good. That's on theme because I was going to do the Christmas movies the rest of the time that we are in December. So I watched Last Christmas, which was a movie that came out last year. It has Khaleesi in it and the guy from Crazy Rich Asians. So Emilia Clarke and Henry Golding. And so they team up for a very cute but very sad Christmas movie, I will say. Basically, the premise is this. Nothing seems to go right for young Kate, a frustrated Londoner who works as an elf in a year-round Christmas shop. But things soon take a turn for the better when she meets Tom, a handsome charmer who seems too good to be true. As the city transforms into the most wonderful time of the year, Tom and Kate's growing attraction turns into the best gift of all, a Yuletide romance.
Aw.
Unfortunately, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 47%, but I gave it a 70% because it was a cute little Christmas movie. And I would like to back it up with the audience on Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 78%, but the critics say, meh, 47 splat, but that's fine. So it was a good, cute little Christmas movie. On the newer side, it came out in 2019, so I was like, it'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Now, by the title, Last Christmas, that can go south.
It can go south, yes.
Okay, gotcha. So
that's why it's 2019.
Yeah. That's why it is 2019. But I guess
it came out at the perfect time.
I guess this is our first December episode. So if y'all want, we can say what our favorite Christmas movie is. So we can start out with Charlie since he's in the top left and he looks like he's thinking. So.
Oh gosh, I've never been a big Christmas movie person, so I will just say the last Christmas movie that I watched, which I don't even remember the name of because it wasn't about watching the movie. It was just about my wife and I and my neighbors getting together and enjoying some of the finer recently legalized things in Oklahoma and watching the worst Christmas movie ever. It's actually a trilogy about this girl from America who marries this or falls in love with some, I don't even know. It's just the most boilerplate Christmas movie with the most boilerplate, title and image. So it's on Netflix and it's one of the, you could watch a different Christmas movie and have watched the same movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It sounds like a Hallmark kind of movie
where
it's like the same.
Yeah,
But they
computer-generated
different
Christmas
characters.
movie.
We forced this bot to watch this movie 1,000 times and write its own script.
We
Exactly.
forced a bot to watch every bad Netflix Christmas
Right.
movie ever, and it's created a million more that are the exact same.
Right, but
Yeah.
they're just pumping it out for cash. So my favorite Christmas movie, it's not a good Christmas movie, but I love it anyway. It's Jingle All the Way, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. It's so bad, but it's so good. I love it. So yeah, that's mine.
Who's next?
I'll go. I'm Charlie's brother, and kind of like Charlie, we didn't watch Christmas movies very much. But I think the one that stuck with me, I don't even know if it's my favorite, but it's that one with the giant Yeti guy, and it's like half animated, half like stop motion.
Oh, is that like Abominable? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, the Abominable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Christmas or is that just winter?
It counts. It counts.
I would say Christmas. That's
Yeah.
fine.
That one's
It's a holiday movie.
Yeah.
It's half scarred me, but it's entertaining to watch.
All right. Okay, Brady, what's yours?
Okay, mine's like this probably isn't fair, but in the movie there is a Christmas scene.
Okay.
I also I don't watch Christmas movies, I feel like, but Step Brothers, because they have Christmas together.
Deal.
So
Okay. That
you can put an
counts.
asterisk there if you want, but
Hey,
Step
don't touch my
Brothers.
drum set. It's all good.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then Lydia, what's yours?
My all-time favorite Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life, and I
Ooh,
am a
okay.
big Christmas movie fan. So, It's a Wonderful Life is definitely my favorite. It's one of those that it's my dad's favorite, and so every year since I probably was born and before, he's always watched it during Christmas, and so I grew up with it, and so I always make sure that I watch It's a Wonderful Life at least one time around Christmas, with or without my dad. Sometimes he watches it by himself, but it's fine.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Awesome. So thank you all for that impromptu answer. I know it wasn't on the docket, but we can go ahead and move forward with the docket. So thank you all so much for being on the show. Welcome to the Stevia Show. So to start things off, why don't you all tell us a little bit about yourself, as well as your band and your involvement in the Tulsa scene?
I guess I'll take the reins on this one. We're Beachfriends. We're a little local Tulsa band. Charlie and Will, the other two here, they're brothers, and I am their cousin.
Oh,
So,
no way. Okay.
What many people don't know
That's
is that this
cool.
is like a little family thing, which is kind of fun.
Oh.
And yeah, we've been playing music for like 2 years, dudes, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of started hopping into the studio in the last like 6 months. So finally like getting some stuff out there for everybody.
Cool.
It was about 2 years and 2 weeks ago that we had our first band practice, which
Aw.
was more just of a do we get along when we play music session?
Yeah.
And the
We
rest
don't.
is history. Yeah,
We don't.
that's why we're video chatting from different houses today.
Okay, gotcha. Even though you're family, you're doing different base camps, so that way y'all don't just like kill each other.
Yeah, that is awesome. I didn't know that you all were related, so that is pretty cool. Little family. That's awesome.
That
It's
is
fun to
rad.
have
There's-
secrets.
There's Hanson. There's us.
Okay.
Jonas.
No other family bands.
Jonas.
No, the Jonases. Yeah.
Jonas, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Gotcha. So, so why did you all then? I know again this isn't on the docket. So, did you all choose Beach Friends to throw everybody off because Beach Family would have been too obvious, or like what? Or why did you choose Beach Friends?
Well,
That's a Brady cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Brady just I used to work at the coffee shop that Brady owns, and every day he'd walk in with a new band name. He'd be like, "How do we name ourselves?" So and so, and he did that every day for about a week, and until Beach Friends just stuck for a couple days. He's like, "It's just gonna be fun." I'm like, "All right, that sounds great."
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, Beach Friends, your songs are fun, so I feel like it works out.
Yeah.
For members of Team Stevia, can you describe your sound and who or what would you consider your main influences to be?
Charlie, go ahead, let that rip.
I want to give this to Brady, but we are a lighthearted, fun, alt pop rock sound. Specifically, if we can make you feel like you're on the beach and make you crave a pina colada or maybe crave your fourth pina colada, then we have done our job.
Yes.
So our influences are probably Brady, you take this one.
Man, it's so interesting because I think when we first started, it was definitely like we were writing some beach songs and just like really feel good stuff. And then we just kept playing. And I think we all like so many genres that it was like we wanted to start writing like a bunch of stuff. And so, like, the next song that's coming out, like in January, it sounds like The Neighborhood meets Miguel. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a beach, like, I don't know. It's I think about it a lot. I'm like, I don't think we're like a beach band anymore. I think it's just like the name we had, and like we're not gonna change it. You know?
No, you can't change it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I already made all like the MySpace accounts. I can't like.
And you already have more friends than just Tom. So I mean,
exactly.
It's far too late at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beachfriends LLC is probably gonna take on a new DBA.
Okay.
And I don't know. Yeah.
Put that in your headline.
Put that Beachfriends LLC. That's who we're joined by. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And you're gonna do a new DBA. That's awesome. That's awesome. So next up, kind of a more lighthearted question. So I know we talked about this before we started recording, but the first few times I've seen you all described yourselves as an Instagram only band, but now you're on Twitter. So that was very bold of you all to branch out. So what was that like, branching out from Instagram to Twitter?
Well, I'll talk about this for Brady. Okay. Brady is the brains and the driver of all public Beachfriends content.
Okay.
Will and I just give our stamp of approval and cheerlead it. So anytime you're interacting with Beachfriends, it's probably Brady. But Instagram, you can only post images, and it's not good for regular interactive talking content. And Twitter allows that. Also, just Instagram's great, but Twitter has this whole other personality to it, and allows you to like reply guy to anyone looking for new music. It allows you to jump in on conversations, and so it's kind of cool that it allows, if you only focus on a couple social media, you can really excel at those, because we live in this age where different social media has different personalities, and Beachfriends personality works well on Instagram and Twitter.
True.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're also on Facebook, so we can get those boomer listens.
Oh, the boomer listens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say these aren't the Beach Boys, but they're still really good. Yeah, that's a really good strategy. I'll need to like you all on Facebook. I didn't know you had Facebook, so that's awesome. I would.
We sold out.
You sold out. Yeah. Yeah, I would for sure say that Instagram and Twitter are probably our best two social media accounts, just because, like, being millennials, like, I don't really feel like anybody uses Facebook regularly anymore. I mean, I'm just on there to post life updates and wish people happy birthday. Like, that's pretty much it. So
true. Real quick, this isn't on the docket either, but can you guys go through and let us know, we didn't really introduce yourselves.
Oh, true.
Like, individually.
We forgot
and
what
you play and, like, and tell us if you've always been playing or if you just started playing a few years ago. Something like that. A fun fact, maybe. I don't know. Who wants to go first? Charlie, go.
I'm Charlie. I'm the drummer. I started out being drums, keys, and live looping, but I've decided to specialize. I've played the drums for about 12 years now. If you're lucky, I might hop on the guitar for a song. And that's my role in the band.
Nice.
Will.
I'm Will Spears. My name says Just Peter. That's not me. But I've been playing guitar for 6 years, and I'm the lead guitar player. And I just try to make it. I just try to make you feel good. That's my role.
I love it.
Awesome.
I'm Brady Ballou. I sing and play guitar, and then Charlie and I occasionally, once a set, will switch instruments. And I was a drummer first, but it's harder to drum and sing at the same time. If I was better at drums, I'd probably just do that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So how do you use your sound to give listeners a beachy vibes?
Well, it's kind of like what I said earlier. Like, I don't even know if the content of the song so much is like beachy as much as it used to be, but
Mhm.
I think the type of like shows we play and just I guess like some of like the guitar tones and stuff are pretty like we'll like slap a bunch of reverb or like play higher up on the neck and I don't know. There's some songs in there like House Wine and like um Volcano, like where we definitely lean into that. But I think it's just like it's like what Charlie was saying earlier. If if the people like leave like a show, and it's hardly ever a show, it's like we're playing at like a brewery or something, and like people found out that we're there, like if they leave and they were like, oh, like they look like they had fun.
Yeah.
That's the desire, right? It's like, I mean, how good can you sound outside on a brewery, as like a little band like this. But like also it's like, man, if people recognize we had fun, they probably had fun too.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think it's also like the feel good vibes and that you have on a beach, and then also I think lyrically there's always, I think, here and there if you listen to Waves or Nevermind, there's a lot of there'll be something about like being on a coast or sitting on a beach. It's not always a beach sound, but there's usually something about um sitting on a beach and
Yeah,
just having a good time.
there's another lesser known Oklahoma band called another family band called Kings of Leon. You might have heard of
I've
them.
never heard
yeah.
of Kings of Leon.
And one of their
I think it's Kings of Leon, but
oh yeah, whatever. Nobody really knows how to say it.
no one knows.
And
It's a mystery.
It's Ings of Leon, I think.
oh yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever. We'll let them figure it out.
And then their
But
songs.
they have
Coddling
an
on Fire.
album. They have an album called Come Around Sundown, and this was immediately following their giant international quadruple platinum album. And one of them was quoted saying, "Well, it's like a beach album," before it was released. And so everyone, as they were anticipating this, was expecting, "Oh my gosh, are they going to play like reggae?" But in follow up after the album release, they're like, "No. It's the same music. It's just we want it to be an album and music you can listen to while on the beach hanging out. It's like a mindset." And so that's one of my personal favorite albums, Come Around Sundown. But we're kind of like that,
Mhm.
we will make references to drinking rosé on the beach with
Nice.
your boys, but it doesn't necessarily mean we have mellophones in the background, although we actually do on one of
We
these.
Especially
It
there's,
doesn't
like,
mean, but we actually do.
it's so funny because I was just like saying like, oh, the next song doesn't sound like it's beach, but there's literally a marimba in the song.
That's fantastic.
Like the
It's
marimba's
the
the
main
hook.
part.
Right. That's awesome.
funny.
And then I will
Yeah,
say,
no.
go ahead, Lid. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the way you guys explained it, I think is pretty spot on. When I listen to your music, I do feel like I'm like, because you're never sad when you're at the beach, right? And so your music is always, it's always like really pumpy and like, ooh, I'm so happy, And so I would agree with your description of the beachy vibes. It doesn't always have to be you singing about the beach, but the vibe I get is like I'm happy and I wish I was at the beach listening to these songs.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
absolutely.
Steven.
Oh
Sorry.
no. I mean, what I was going to say was basically along the same lines. So you hit the nail there.
Oh,
but is this really awesome? Like hearing like all like the different kind of like the medleys, like the medley of instruments coming in, like especially in Waves, you have such a strong bass hook in the middle of it that just sounds so good. But then whenever we listen to different songs and then we hear the different instruments, it's just cool how versatile like you are with your tones and stuff like that. It just sounds really good.
Thank you. And the two songs we have out on every streaming platform, Nevermind, Envium, and Waves, those were our first 2 times actually going into the studio. And we can talk more about Closet Studios and Kendall down there whenever you want. But we had really never done this before as a band. So these were a bit of a discovery process. Like, well, playing live is one thing, and then recording in the studio is a different beast. And so can we actually get close to a vision of what we hear in our heads when we play a song? And so we were really happy with that. And we just wrapped another few songs, which we will be releasing in early 2021.
Nice.
Oh, we love that. We love that little hook there.
Yeah. Absolutely. So basically, what has been the biggest struggle in making music amid the pandemic? Like, I feel like with podcasting, it's been I remember whenever the pandemic hit, like for us, it was like, oh, we'll just switch to Discord and Zoom. And like, that was like, bam, easy for us. But for but for musicians, I feel like it's a lot harder because obviously shows are gone. So like, how have you all been putting out the content and stuff like that amid all of this?
Yeah, I think it's like, in one way it's been harder to probably write stuff, because typically, like, one of us will come up with something and bring it to practice, right? And then we can all see if everyone kind of vibes with it or something.
Mhm.
But then another way, like, because you're not playing shows, like, we all kind of, as we found out this pandemic was going to be a real beast, I think we all were like, well, I guess we should like go into the studio since we can't play shows. Like, might as well use this time to put some stuff out. So in a way, it kind of forced our hand to like finally go into the studio, because I don't know if we ever, like, I think we all wanted to at some point, but we didn't know when would be the right time. And so now, like, all we have is time on our hands. So it's kind of been fun. But like Charlie said, it was like, yeah, the first 2 songs, you go in, you just see like how this is going to work if the vision meets the reality. So it was cool. It's been different for sure, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we have the luxury of not having to make money from the band right now. This is not our full-time gig.
Mhm.
And so the other musicians who do, I can't imagine what it's like for them.
Right.
But for us, we are able to elect not to play shows, and because there are still people, in venues who want to book a show. And we did play like this summer, like an outdoor distance, like patio event. But from a promotion standpoint, like, we don't really want to promote like events right now, and it's not wise to do that. And so, like, that sucks.
Yeah.
It allows us to not have the obligation to play live, um like, if we don't want to, and it allows us to go, okay, so let's spend a year going in and out of the studio at our leisure. And we have really no timetable or rush to get anything out. If anything, it's probably benefited us more than other full-time musicians and bands, because we've been able to kind of do things at our own pace. It's a bummer because we don't really get together as much in person anymore. We'll practice in the garage a few times, but it's kind of an as is, like,
Mhm.
well, what's going on in the world, what's going on in our lives, how many people we've been around in the past few weeks, kind of thing. So it's touch and go, but we have it better than anyone else, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like the hardest part for me would be the playing live just gives you that kind of like that boost to practice more, and like
Yeah.
gives you a little more room to be creative, while being in the studio is very like you have to have something and it has to be perfect, and there's not as much room for creativity, so you have to kind of do it on your own.
Mhm.
And just having like the people with you, and um, playing live and practicing all the time just gives you a little more motivation to uh, be creative for me. So I think that's been an interesting experience, and it's been a learning experience, and definitely had to change the way that I've um, kind of approached practicing and um, experimenting with my sounds. So yeah.
Sure. Do you guys, when you guys go into the studio, do you do it separately or do you all go together? I know that's a weird question, but I don't go into a studio. Well, Stevia studios, but we're together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we normally all start together as we like get the foundation of the song, just to make sure like the first couple of things that go down, everybody's like, oh, as long as we have this core, we kind of know it'll stay in this lane, or where it could go. So, but after that, it does, because it takes a couple of days, and sometimes that's across weeks or months, as everyone's
Right.
schedule works out. So I think the first like day or two we're always together, like all three of us. But then, you know, like I've gone in and done vocals by myself, or Will's popped in to like redo a guitar part or like bring in a new idea. And so that kind of makes it interesting too, because
Yeah.
like you go in and say I go in and record some different vocal takes than they had previously thought I was going to do, or like, and then the next time they come to the studio, they can be good and bad. They can either be like, oh, or they can be like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh is such a versatile word. It really is.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I typically say oh when I'm like, wait, I have to think really quick of a response. I'm like, oh, and then
like, oh, great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Yes. Here's
yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. So that's interesting to me that you like start together and then you kind of go in, and then all of a sudden at the end of a recording session, after like a long time, it becomes like an awesome song. I think that is a really cool thing, but I don't think people realize how much work it takes in the studio and how much time you have to go. And this isn't like you show up for an hour and you're good to go. It's like hours on end, days on end, so.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like this last few songs that we were in the studio with. I mean, I think it was like over 40 hours on them, which is crazy. Like it's so, for the most part, it's really fun. Like it can be a bit tedious and, but it just takes time. And like, especially like we're tracking real drums. And I think Kendall over at the Closet Studios, like tracks drums like really incredibly. And so like, but that's really time consuming. Like that eats up, like it can eat up like 2 to 3 hours of like a 5-hour chunk that we're doing. And so I don't know, it's still fun. I think we all enjoy it a lot, but it is a ton of work. And there's definitely times like I think like you can get annoyed with each other, or like maybe stuff gets lost in translation. There's so much discussion in there that like it with all that context and all the conversations, it's for sure like I think we all are guilty probably of overthinking it in there. You know what I mean? But
if overthinking was an Olympic sport, I would have a gold medal every single time.
We'd have to invent a new medal for you, Steven.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
No, yeah, the studio's a different beast. It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of tedium, and you don't have the advantage of objectivity. You go in and every musician who's done this knows this already, but it's kind of a new experience for us because this is kind of the first time we collectively have gone in together as Beachfriends. So a lot of it's this discovery and being like, oh, all those cool songs that I idolize and I want to sound like and I would love to do. How I think they got to producing that recording is not probably how it went. It's a totally different process and beast. And have you ever been to a show where you see the band live and they are not at all how they sound in the studio? And I'm not trying to slight them, but I'm just saying like, they are different, almost like different skill sets.
For sure.
They're entirely different worlds, and those bands who can do both are incredible.
I also think it's like wild when, say you hear like, I don't know, I think Selena Gomez might be a good example. She has some songs that sound like so simple, almost like you're like, man, how does she get away with like using like what seems like 4 tracks? And it's really, dozens and dozens. But like you have to be so good in the studio to like make something sound that simple and like easy. But like then when we go in, we're like, oh man, it's so hard to make something sound so simple but still be an earworm.
Right.
You know, I think we're probably guilty of this too, like adding layers to songs and filling gaps. But like, I think some of the best songs are like, yeah, like very minimal tracks and like, you got to be good
Yeah. It's a lot of studio time, probably, for
for
sure,
sure.
to get
Yeah,
that
even for
good.
them, yeah, it's like probably just as many hours, but they're just figuring out how simple can I make this, you know?
Right.
Right.
Wild.
And I'm sitting
We
here
should try
thinking,
that.
yeah. Yeah, you should. And I'm also sitting here thinking about how kind of exhausting I guess it could be for you guys because, you know, when you play a show, you're not doing it for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're in the studio for 5 hours, that can be kind of exhausting, especially if you're playing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. And
Like when you're in shows, I could see you playing different songs and you're doing different things and it's fun. And like in the studio, I could be like, oh man, again.
you're waiting to do like your one part for like
Yeah.
3 hours, and you're like, okay, let's get there, and then
Dude, Will came into
you
the
go for like
studio.
30 seconds.
Will,
What?
Will, you came into the studio. I don't even remember what song it was. It might be one of these. And you waited 3 days to play your guitar
Yeah.
part.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
And like we were like, oh, it might get tracked on day 1 for sure on day 2, and then day 3 we'll probably polish it up. And the guitar part's pretty short. And like you play guitar for what, like 8 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You
waited
know?
3 days for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And otherwise just like hurry up and wait, and then you start tweaking that guitar sound, and that takes even longer. But it's just
Mhm.
like it can be painful for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting because again, we're discovering these things
Mhm.
as we do them. A lot of this stuff is well known to studio musicians, but I'll relate, as the my experience as a drummer to something Stuart Copeland, the drummer for The Police,
Mhm.
talks about, which is you usually end up tracking drums first, and so you you lay those down, and those kind of you don't get to listen to everything else going in. You don't really
Mhm.
get to go back and change any fundamental layers of it. What you end up putting down is kind of what's there. So um you have to have this zen about you to be like, oh, I wish I could have done this, because we can't exactly go back and start from square one. We
Right.
have, it also you're at the mercy of what happens over the next several days of tracking.
I think you can change it if you have a bigger budget. You know, if you're like
Yeah.
if you're Shawn
Yeah.
Mendes or something, he's like, I don't like those drums. You're gonna change the drums. But for us, like smaller budget than
Yeah.
Shawn Mendes only. Everybody else we blow out of the water. But,
Yeah.
no, Shawn Mendes. Like we're kind of
Shout out
stuck
to
with our
Shawn
time
Mendes.
limit and our money. And
Shout
like we gotta lock this down like right away and like nail it the first
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something we learned from the first times being in the studio is like you need to be very confident in the tempo you pick for your song.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because yeah, once we track the drums, we don't really have the time or the money to change it after that. So uh very smart to just take your time in the beginning, get it right, and then it makes the whole process a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for the insight. I know I kind of went off the rails there, but
Yeah,
I
no.
was super interested, and I think that everybody else would be too, because like you have been saying, it's a different beast than when bands you just see them in person on stage.
Right. Yeah. Because of course, like with the studio, you have, producing, you have mixing, you have mastering, you have actually, like doing the recordings. Like it's a lot more than what just your average music listener thinks. So it's cool knowing more about that process, especially for you all. So I know, again, this one really isn't on the question, but really quick, what was it like working with Closet Studios?
Go,
They're all
Charlie.
just
You have the
smiling.
most experience.
I love
They're all
talking.
smiling at each
talking.
other, like, "Ooh, who's
Yeah.
gonna go?"
Well,
Oh.
I can't speak highly enough of Closet Studios. That is really Kendall Osborne down there in south of Tulsa in Bixby. He's got a freestanding studio next door to his house. But
That's cool.
my relationship with Kendall actually begun over a decade ago in college. He actually sat behind me in an accounting class,
Oh, nice.
and I forget exactly how it goes, but I found out he recorded music. I was in and I'm still in another rock band, and we were looking to record some music. I liked what he did. He was recording it out of the closet in his parents' house. And so we recorded with him, and we're, early on in his career. He then dropped out of accounting, went full-time studio, and is absolutely killing it. This guy is he's probably one of the best ears and full stack producer, engineers, everything in this part of the country, I think. Recording with him, we toe the line sometimes between shooting the breeze too much and actually doing things. I will say he loves to talk. I love to talk. Sometimes that's a bad thing, and sometimes that's a point of tension because it can be like an hour.
Charlie and Kendall have taken like 19 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Oh, man.
Like, just Will and I will just be sitting on the couch, like in the back room, just listening to them like talk about who knows what. And I'm just like, oh, this is like really gotten away from us.
Yeah, and I think I understand that too, is because it's in the middle of the pandemic, and he works for himself, by himself. So the people he sees are us, and like, the people and other people recording with him. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of chatting, but also Kendall is just so detail oriented and will fixate on like a little sound, and it can be like, it can drive you nuts, but in the end, like, you need someone that has that ability, and
you're thankful for it.
Yeah, and he knows more about playing guitar than I do, and he's a fantastic bass player and knows his way around a drum set. So just having someone with expertise in every little area just helps you out when you're recording.
He's better at every instrument than each one of us are, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes when we get frustrated trying to nail a part, say I on the drums, I know that he can actually play and track that better. But it also means that he has insight to, if I'm going to do a small, he can tell me what should probably be here, because he's recorded thousands of hours of music, and he's like, when I throw it back to him, like, Kendall, what do you think? He's kind of the role as our producer. It's kind of funny to have a producer, but he kind of plays the role of producer, and he's able to say, oh, this would probably sound good, and here's why. And then we talk about it internally in the band, and we're like, that's right. Let's send it. And we do that. So it's very collaborative, us and Kendall and the studio.
Awesome. Well, it's really good to have that working relationship.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been awesome for you guys. You kind of hinted at this earlier, but I kind of want to maybe dive a little bit deeper in it. The question is, has your sound evolved since Beachfriends started? If so, how?
For sure it has. I think like the first songs we played were like definitely more beach inspired, and like as we've we're 2 years in now, so I think we all have different interests musically, and then then there's that aspect, but then there's like, okay, well, as our band like grows or pivots or introduces new sounds, there's like your favorite bands that you like to listen to, but then there's your favorite bands you wish you were in, and then so you're trying to pull like from both of those. And so I don't know, all of a sudden you like see like, oh, Beachfriends could pull off a little bit of this vibe, so you like lean into that, and I think you'll hear that in our like song coming out in January. But it's evolved. It's like, I'd like to think we've always kept it somewhat simple, but I'd like to say we're like focusing on that a lot, not adding too many like tracks or things like we can't play live. I think that's like what we're trying to be aware of, is like be the band that can pull off both, have them be different experiences, but pull off both, but not like, I don't know, I don't want to sound like we're like a ska band with like 8 people.
Right.
I don't know. Lainey does a really good job of that, whether people like Lainey or not, but I mean, they're 3 dudes, and I think they're their recorded stuff sounds like 3 people, and then they can mostly play it live 3 to 4 people. And so I've always respected that, even if it is backing tracks and stuff. Like they do a good job. I've always been kind of aware that they've stayed in that lane really well.
Right.
Cool.
Anything to add, guys?
We used to be beach native, and now we're more of a beach adjacent band.
Okay.
Oh, I like that, Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah, I think we stick with the core. We've stuck with the core instruments of guitar, rhythm guitar, a little bit of a lead guitar, drums, bass. I think as we've been in the studio, we've been able to experiment with a lot more synths and those type of sounds that we love to put in, because they provide like some sort of like an atmosphere that we don't exactly have live all the time. But I think that's kind of how we've evolved as a band, is we've kind of gone outside of our comfort zone of instruments.
Which is also so funny to say, because one of the songs we're putting out this spring is like in your face a beach song. We're like, we've totally grown.
We spent all this time saying, "Wow, you know, we're
really
but we're gonna put out something that's like the most tropical sounding."
Yeah, and like
in
the chorus is like it says like the coast of California or something like that. It literally sounds like an SNL sketch. But we're over here saying it's like, I know, I think we've kind of moved on from that.
It's always
I think it's okay to have a little of the old mixed with the new, so maybe your other one is more new you.
Yeah, right.
And then
right.
this tropical sounding one is like, the OG you.
Yeah. It's like what
a return to our roots.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
After
2-year-old roots.
After 2 years, it's good to return to your roots.
It really is.
Yeah, it's good to go back.
Reset, go back and go. Where we started.
Get refreshed. It really reminds everybody what Beachfriends is all about.
Yeah.
It's all about that. So I know we kind of talked about people experiencing like happy feelings whenever we listen to your music. So is that kind of like the main thing you want people to feel?
Yeah, okay. I would say so. I think like if the people can leave like our show and say like, oh, they had a good time, then that means the person probably had a good time. And so that's probably the goal. But then when you listen to us like on whatever streaming platform, I hope you hear it and just be like, oh, this is one, like kind of relatable. And then 2, like I enjoy having this on at fun events, whether you're like going to the bodega and getting a bagel
right.
or like, I don't know, hosting your parents over for wine and cheese. Like I would love to hit both those hotspots.
Okay.
That kind of defines the spectrum we're trying to follow.
Right. Wine and cheese with your parents and bodega bagels. Like that's right. Just everywhere in between.
I feel like it's perfect.
Really. I mean, that's awesome. So what has been y'all's favorite moment as an artist so far?
That's a good question.
Playing Tiny Porch Festival.
Yes. Okay.
It was this festival that Charlie kind of helped put on in our neighborhood. And we lived at, Charlie still lives there, but it's a old school renovated into apartments, and there's a big parking lot. And we had a giant festival, I think probably around 500 people by the time we started playing. And it was like a very casual, come and listen, hang out with your friends kind of atmosphere. So it really hit that fun, just enjoyable kind of show that we love to play. And I mean, that was one of the most fun shows.
The Coachella of Northwest Tulsa.
Yeah. I was actually at Tiny Porch Festival, and it was it was a really good time. Y'all had the barbecue truck come out and everything. It was super cool. My buddy Alan and I went to that, and I think that was my second time that I've seen you all live, and that was the first time I saw Nightingale play and stuff like that. Nightingale is exceptional, dude.
They're insane, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So Charlie, since you helped, I guess Charlie's that way for me. So Charlie, since you helped work that out, good job. That was a really, really good.
Thank
festival.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We cannot wait to do it again. We almost did it this year because it's outside. It's not a ton of people, but we pulled the plug on that. But we really look forward to putting that on. That's just such a fun thing to do, and I'm anxious for the world to open back up so we can do that.
Yeah.
I think the best part about that whole like festival experience was, I think we opened up the main stage, right? Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
when you're in charge of the festival, you can book yourself where you want.
Right.
Yeah,
You can book yourself as headliners. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
So we opened this main stage, and just the way the timing works out, and like with the sun going down in that neighborhood, like that's when everybody happened to still be at the festival. And I think as it got later, just more people like went home for dinner. And so we ended up having like the biggest crowd for it. It worked out. So
Yes.
I'm curious if we can land that again. That'd be sweet.
You just gotta find that sweet spot. Okay,
That
so
would
we
be
so
sweet.
we started playing at exactly 6:17 p.m. You know, and stuff like that. So that's rad.
So what are you guys looking forward to most post-COVID? If there ever is going to be a post-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people
right.
won't take the vaccine. Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're really excited to put out this new music. We've got like 3 coming out kind of this like late winter, spring. And then who knows about what we'll do in the summer. I hopefully be able to play some shows and stuff like that in the summer, but I don't know if these, I think the first 2 songs like surprised us a lot. Like we just figured like our moms would listen to it, you know, kind of thing. And like,
Yeah.
and it's, I don't know, people have seemed to like it quite a bit so far. So I think if these next 3 songs we put out kind of do the same, like it would kind of like suggest like, oh, maybe we just like keep going into the studio and like keep putting out music and just see what happens. But I think the best part about Beachfriends and Charlie and Will and I in our relationship is just like there's no pressure at all. We're still doing this for fun, even if like going in the studio, it's like, oh, we want to make great music. I mean, at the end of the day, like touring would be kind of tricky. Like we all have jobs.
Right.
We'll do like a 3-city tour, but like Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Tulsa. I don't know.
Tulsa.
Right.
Yeah, that would be the goal.
We'll
like
stay here.
Right. Do like a weekend run type sort of thing.
That'd be cool.
We if when we release our new music early next year, if that is received as well as our first 2 songs, then we're really gonna try to target booking some of the small side stage during the middle of the day at some of the major festivals, which we think is really doable and would be so dang cool because I mean, I don't know, isn't it everybody's dream to play Bonnaroo?
Right.
So we would love to do that,
And that just means we'll have to lease a jet.
Oh, right. The Beachfriends jet.
No big deal.
We
With our
will
name
hire a
on the side.
limo driver to drive us across the country to Bonnaroo.
That'd be cool.
And by limo, we mean a Nissan Versa.
Hey, I mean, really, you can just
I have a Rogue if you want a Nissan Rogue if you want
We'll
to
take it.
Okay.
One of those airport like tram buses.
Oh, right.
What about those little cars with the seat in the back that's facing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the other way.
Station wagon.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
station wagon.
dude.
Oh, that'd be tight with the wood.
It would be
paneling.
really cool though if it was a single row, so there's just a driver
Right.
and then
It's a
back
really
and then
narrow
front.
car.
Yeah.
Almost look like something out of Dr. Seuss. That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you all could play a show, so speaking of Bonnaroo, that's a perfect segue to the next question. So if you all could play a show with any artist, and you can do a lineup if you want, if just one is hard, they don't have to be together or alive anymore. Who would you pick and why?
Man, I think now almost considering myself like a Tulsan or Okie. I've been here like 6 years now.
Oh,
which
where are you
is
from
fine.
originally?
I'm from Seattle.
Oh, rad. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
cool.
I've been here a while now in Tulsa. You know how it is. Like, is the most accepting city ever. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just great. So I'm like super proud to call us an Oklahoma artist, like, and not, frou about it, but like, so it'd be cool to open for like Kings of Leon.
Oh,
That's how you say it.
Kings of Leon. Yes, that's it.
I'm super, I don't know what it is. I'm having like a big boy band crush on Lainey right now.
Okay.
I didn't, like a year ago, like I did not listen to these guys. I really had no idea who they were. And then obviously they're huge, but like, and so I would love to open up for them, just being Oklahoma, kind of somewhat based.
Yeah, because he's from Tulsa too.
Yeah. And Charlie, Will, is it you guys that used to live near him?
Friends with his sister.
Right.
That's
nice.
Is that the one you went to prom with?
No. A friend dated her.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think on a shout out to another band that I think we actually could tour with now, maybe if they don't get big, but they're going to be big after their next album. But Arlie, our sister is in Arlie, and they're based out of Nashville. So I think it'd just be cool to tour with more family. That's what we need.
Yeah,
That'd be rad.
Yeah,
that would be rad.
All right, and Charlie, what about you?
Oh man, it just changes upon the day and the hour you ask me. We would love to tour with the 1975, but they're headliner.
Never heard of
Yeah.
it.
It's never gonna happen.
They're my favorite band. I love the night. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wearing their sweatshirt as we speak.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually have the rectangle tattooed on my arm.
No way.
Yeah. I could show
He's
you
a big fan,
afterwards.
guys.
I love.
When
We
you
should
say the
hang out.
1975, he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!"
Wait. Did you just say you wanted to hang out, dude? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I would love some. I would love some friends. Perfect. We can hang out.
I'm just going through my most recently played stuff on Spotify, going, who I'd want to open up for. I would love to tour with King Princess.
Ooh, yeah.
She would absolutely be like one of the. I feel like that crossover would be really cool.
I've got her record like right above my laptop right here.
Yeah,
Nice.
King Princess is rad.
Oh, man.
Alabama Shakes in 2013. That's what I toured with.
Oh yeah, 2013 Alabama Shakes.
Yeah.
Not 2020 Alabama Shakes. 2013 Alabama Shakes.
Yeah. I mean, is Brittany no longer doing Alabama Shakes?
She went solo. I don't know what
Solo.
the whole band.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a Grammy or two, so I feel like.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I would also say the Neighborhood would be there. Like, I don't know. There's some of the stuff we're putting out next is like got some Neighborhood vibes, and so I don't know. I think they freaking rule.
Nice.
Oh, I guess it's me.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him a question that is on the docket, and it's my favorite question to
Yes, it
ask. So
is.
here we go. Do you guys, picture yourself. You just recorded 2 songs, and you've played them a lot, but you know that you're beach friends, and you are amazing. So, are you driving to the mall, listening to yourself and singing along?
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love that.
I couldn't sleep last night because I had our new song stuck in our head, and I was just thinking about it. Yeah, I think we all listen to our own music, and I think I think we can have fun with that.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope we're making music we would want to listen to.
Yeah.
Like,
That's fair.
There's definitely a time where I get kind of sick of it. I think that's like probably with any artist, but yeah, if we're going to the mall buying new shoes for sure, never mind.
You're bopping to Nevermind on the way.
Right.
We got some fresh Skechers at Journey.
Okay.
No problem.
Right.
Wow, I'm loving this.
Going to Shoe Carnival and getting the BOGO deal on New Balances. Hell yeah, my dudes. Yeah.
Dang,
Wow,
we're
it's so
talking
interesting.
BOGOs?
Oh yeah, we're talking about BOGOs.
Bogos. Oh man, Bogos.
Yeah,
If I'm trying to catch the new Nike drop, I'm just repeating waves on
Right.
Spotify over and over for good
Let's
luck.
go get this bread. Yeah.
They would be those
that
like
website. Oh my gosh.
they would be like the Nike Cortez though. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Cortez. If you pull up Cortez, like those are Waves shoes for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, very
I actually
iconic.
DM'd the boys some sneakers the other day. They were, how much were they? They were like $1 million, like one run.
100,000.
100,000. Okay, yeah, yeah. And I was like, hey, first paycheck.
After we lease the jet.
Yeah.
I need some shoes to get on the jet with.
Right, and it's got to be
to walk
Nike
around
Cortez.
like muddy Glastonbury.
There is no bigger flex than wearing expensive clothes to get muddy at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Dude, before your headliner set.
We played Oktoberfest, and there was a guy there, and it was freezing. It was like 30 degrees outside.
Was that the one where it was super muddy too?
Oh, this was at Welltown's Oktoberfest. Sorry.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
So it's like 30 degrees, and we're in like beanies, jackets, like playing on stage, right? And there's a guy standing like in the crowd, and he's in a Balenciaga t-shirt. Like, this dude is for sure freezing his ass off. Like, he is miserable, but he was like, nope, I wore this shirt today and everyone has to know.
Yeah,
right.
he was like the biggest flex of Oktoberfest. One layer.
Yeah.
And you know he was miserable, but he's like, nah, fam.
He for sure listened to us in the car as he went and bought that shirt.
For sure. He's like,
for sure listened to you in the car.
He's like, I'm not getting this on BOGO, but damn it, I'm listening to Beachfriends on the way there. So.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's so interesting to me because it's about 50-50, I would say, with the bands that we ask. Some of them are like, no, we don't, we play it so much we don't want to. But there's a few that are like, no, I love us. Right. So I want to listen to us. And I ask that because I don't like the way I sound like to myself. And so after this comes out, I'll listen to it. Like I'll fast forward into the middle and listen to like the middle of it where most of the talking is you guys. And then after that I'm like, okay, great, bye, because I don't want to hear myself.
I totally know the feeling. Like it's like when you hear your voicemail, your own voicemail, and you're like,
who is this?
Are you serious? Like,
yes.
That's me. And in a way that kind of happens in the studio too, where like when you sing and then like I'm like, as we're producing and stuff, I'm like, can you throw some more like reverb on that? Like, is there anything you can do?
Can you make it sound better?
Right.
Yeah.
Just fix it in post. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta hand this to Brady though. I mean, he just makes a lot of demos on GarageBand and is a decent singer, but man, he nails it in the studio for a guy who this is brand new to. Gosh, he gets it. And when you're working with a great producer, you can really make those vocal lines soar. So I'm really excited for the new songs because there's some great harmonies and some really nice parts there. So
nice. All right. So what has been the coolest show you all have played so far? Would you say Tiny Porch Fest?
You were at the Colony show like a year ago. That was like cool, I think, because I think that might have been like the first show where it was like a 3-band lineup and we were in there and I think we opened it up.
Yeah, it was you all, Bringer, and Cliff Diver, if I remember correctly.
And Cliff Diver brought so many people. I think we brought like 4 at that point.
Yeah.
Cliff Diver packed out the bar, but because people wanted to get to Cliff Diver early, they were there for our set, so our set was packed.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Surround yourselves with people that bring a following and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, and that's actually the first time that I listened to you all was at that show, and I was like, okay, I've got to keep on listening to these guys. So whenever you said you're an Instagram only band, I'm like, boop, like just instantly. So that's rad.
And we were kind of talking about this before we hopped on here, but we totally like it was like our first, kind of we were pretty like into it, like this is gonna be so cool. We bombed the first song, like
it was so bad.
It so bad.
I mean, maybe like it's funny because like maybe it didn't seem like that to other people, but to us we were just melting inside.
Yeah, that's a perfect word. Like we were looking at each other like, can this song end faster? Like how can we like cut stuff out and just get this over with? And then so funny, like then right after the show, a buddy of mine was there and he's like, yo, I love that first song. And I was like, what show were you
like noise rock? My God.
How many beers have you had?
He's like, oh, 8, why?
Yeah. Yeah, math, rock, and noise rock, and I thought you guys really nailed it. The rest of it was too poppy, too accessible.
Too accessible.
Yeah. I just think that's a funny thing too, is that you could be playing and just think it's absolutely like you're just not, you didn't show up that day, but the people that are there to watch you, they're all like, yeah, this is great.
We talk about this all the time too, is like at shows, like we know because that we only got like a couple songs out on the internet, like no one really knows how our songs go besides like our wives and girlfriends and all that. And so it's like we know we messed up because we like practiced that. We were like, all right, but so we're kind of like, oh, we really dropped the ball on that song. And then everyone's like, that sounded great. And so I don't know, it's just a good reminder not to take yourselves too serious, because like, well, at least for us, because no one knows our songs yet, hopefully.
Yet. From now,
well,
you'll
know.
Another show that we did.
Oh,
hold on.
Go ahead.
Another show we did that I thought was really cool, even though we had a lot of moments, was outside of Press and Guitar House. We pulled up my truck, and Charlie, we all fit in the back of my truck.
Nice.
Charlie's drums.
No way.
Like my amp was like sitting like inside the truck. We had a lot of power issues because we only had like one extension cord.
Oh no. Okay.
So it was also a nightmare. But that whole idea of a band in a truck was so awesome.
And I think we're gonna expand on that, because we have a plan to rent it. It's like a 16-foot U-Haul, and we won't announce at the brewery yet, but we're going to pull it up in their parking lot, and we'll be in it when you lift the big doors, and like we're putting a light show in there, and then we'll be in the parking lot of this brewery inside of a truck, very like kind of impromptu thing. So I think the whole back of truck thing is really really work for us.
Yeah,
we're actually a truck band.
Actually a truck band. Listen, that sounds so fun. Yeah. I will be there.
That sounds rad.
That sounds like a party.
Awesome.
So guys, overall, why should people listen to Beachfriends?
Man, another good question. Do you guys have an answer?
we come ready. We come ready with questions, guys.
Are you having a rough day, or are you having the best day of your life, and you just want to feel good? I think that's why you listen to us. Is it's just I think it is feel good music. Maybe we'll write a moody song one of these days, but
okay.
I think for sure it's feel good music.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Right on. Yeah. And I think we all definitely get those vibes, especially in this, this next song that we're going to hear, which, by the way, would y'all mind telling us about Nevermind/NVM?
Oh yeah. Nevermind is like our first pop bop that we all wrote together. Like it definitely, I think the demo was much moodier, if I remember right. It was just like, and then as we got into the studio, just more trying different guitars, people other than myself that can play guitar much better, playing guitars on the demo. And then it just became this, like, it just kept lifting and lifting. And once we kind of had a sniff of it, like, then all of a sudden it started like going towards like that high-em drum sound, with that and then just these like bouncing guitars, and then like Will's guitar solo, I think, or hook part, just kind of like gave it this nostalgic like 80s feel or something like that. I hate to say like we're an 80s pop sound, but like in that case maybe a little bit. And so this was super fun for us. It was the second song we ever did, and I think our third and fourth will lean a little bit more towards this, and then the fifth one will sound like Waves, our other song out on the internet. But Nevermind's a bop.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, everybody in Team Stevia, you are about to listen to the song Nevermind by Beachfriends, available on all platforms. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
What comes after a broken heart? I guess you find out who you are. But a sad song about a bad one ain't gonna help from started. So I'm moving on. You can call my phone, but I ain't picking up, no. Sorry, but never mind, another time. You can call me up, feel it's right, it's wrong. You can try, but I won't take your time. I'm on my way, saying thank you anyway. Never mind, another time. You can call me up, feel it's right, it's wrong. You can try, but I won't take your time. I'm on my way, saying thank you anyway. I hope you're happy somewhere lovely. You just gonna ring me up, so I know you're thinking of me. Now sorry, not calling back, not falling for that. As a matter of fact, you can take that, baby, you don't want it back. Never mind, another time. You can call me up, feel it's right, it's wrong. You can try, but I won't take your time. I'm on my way, saying thank you anyway. Never mind, another time. You can call me up, feel it's right, it's wrong. You can try, but I won't take your time. I'm on my way, saying thank you anyway. Sorry, but never mind, another time. You can call me up, feel it's right, it's wrong. You can try, but I won't take your time. I'm on my way, saying thank you anyway. Never mind, another time. You can call me up, feel it's right, it's wrong. You can try, but I won't take your time. I'm on my way, saying thank you anyway.
All right, Team Stevia, and that was Nevermind by Beachfriends. Be sure to listen to it on all music platforms where you normally find your music, because that song is a pop bop, like they were saying. So thank you all so much. Yeah, thank you all so much for sharing that with us. But next up, we're going to be going into our segment called Stevia Sound Off. And Lydia, what is Stevia Sound Off?
Oh, Steven, let me tell you what Stevia Sound Off is.
Oh,
it's a
Lydia.
section.
Okay.
It's a section where Team Stevia sends us questions and takes, and as good or bad, we don't care. And as long as they're within reason, everyone on the show will answer them. We post a weekly thread on our Instagram story and Twitter, and we have a dedicated channel on our Discord for this section. So let's see what we have this week.
All right. So first up, Archmaester Robinson, he asks, and thankfully we're all video game players here, so this should be a pretty easy one. What is your favorite video game villain / antagonist, and why? There's a lot of good ones.
I got it.
Okay.
Can I go?
Yeah,
Let's
no,
go.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
I don't know if this is a big the elusive man from Mass Effect.
Damn it.
Okay.
Charlie.
Yeah, he's he's a person that is kind of gray, but he's also a villain because he's brutally pro-human. If you know the games, it's all sorts of species, and he's brutally pro-human and throws everyone to the wayside. And you as a character have to you work with him, but then you also have to kill him.
Dang.
Hate it when that happens.
All right, who's next?
Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, recently I've been playing through some of the story and adventure narrative in Sea of Thieves.
Oh, nice.
And you have the infamous Captain Flameheart, who appears as this flaming skull in the sky, and you sail towards him, and you have to. There's kind of this just open world adventure quest series, which is incredibly thematic. And I've always wanted to live in Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's the closest I can get.
Awesome.
Yes.
For me, it probably just. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like we're on Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer. You know?
For me, it'd probably be just the graphics in GoldenEye. You know, you're kind of just battling those the whole time. I don't think those graphics get enough credit for, you know, what they do.
Gotcha.
I would have to say the Dark Genie in my favorite video game of all time, Dark Cloud.
Nice.
He's just an asshole.
He's mine is actually from my favorite video game of all time too. It's a old Japanese role-playing game called Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo. Love
Classic
that game.
soundtrack.
Yes, dude, one of the best soundtracks of all time. But the villain in that, its name is Lavos, and it's this big alien creature who just seeks out to destroy the world, and it has like no feelings or no empathy whatsoever. So it's just like the ultimate like big bad, I guess, is why I really like Lavos.
Yeah.
Cool.
One.
Yeah. Well, Family Feud. Good answers. Good answers. You know, that would get us. That would get us to the next round.
So, Steven, do you want to ask your own question,
Sure.
or do you want me to ask the question for you?
Sure. I can ask it. So I experienced this the other day, and I just wanted to know what everybody thinks of it. But what do y'all think of deja vu? Like, what do you think it exactly is? What goes through
The
your
movie?
mind? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
what
movie
Lydia
with.
said.
I answered with the movie. It's great.
I actually love that movie.
Me too. It's a good movie. Honestly,
I mean,
it's trippy too. You're like, whoa.
I was talking about the feeling, but I guess the movie works too.
Yes. Sorry, we're pivoting.
No, you're good. You're good. Pivot all you want. It's all good.
But actual deja vu is pretty wild. Does everybody else like pause and stand there while they're experiencing, like, for whatever reason you can't do anything else besides have deja vu in that moment?
Yeah, because you're trying to figure out like where the hell you've been here before. It's like I know this moment in time hasn't existed yet, but I've somehow been here. Like, how does it work? Ugh,
Well, and it kind of like kicks you. You're like, wait, and like,
Well,
kind of
we
wait,
were
like,
just
what's
talking-
happening?
We were just talking about video games, so I'll make a reference.
Okay.
It is how the ancestors, similar to Assassin's Creed, those embedded memories in us, re-emerging in familiar scenarios.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that theory, Charlie.
Okay.
It's you're an assassin in Assassin's Creed, basically.
Yeah.
And deja vu is your ancestors speaking to you through ancestral memory to kill a target or something.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's super wild.
Mine's always associated with smell, so I'm guessing it's I don't know. Synapses are going wild, and we can't control the past or the future. So there's some sort of space-time continuum throwing out all the words. So
so every time you pour like Lucky Charms, you're like,
I've been here
daily, every
about to
day.
go to preschool.
Oh, I've been here before.
I've been here.
Or it's like that, and like being sick. Like I've been this. I've already been this before.
Yeah. So why am I doing it again? You know.
Yeah. Why am I doing it?
Yeah. Why am I here again?
What
That
gives?
sucks.
Well, the olfactory sense is the one most closely tied to memory,
Huh.
as per many scientific studies.
Learn something new every day. That's awesome. I did not know that.
But I would also say that the movie is pretty great.
Yeah. Full circle. Back to the
Yeah,
film.
Denzel Washington and his
Yes.
prestige.
Man, what a good movie. Steven, if
wonder
you
what
haven't
the-
actually seen the movie, you need to watch it.
Okay.
I wonder what the budget for explosions was in that movie. Like, I'm so curious.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to know.
It would be.
Friends needs more explosions.
Better call Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next question is worst video game you've ever played.
And that comes to us from Professor Joe. I'll go ahead and
from
go.
Joe.
I'll go ahead and go first before anybody steals it. Superman 64, worst game of all time. You literally it's unintentionally difficult because of how badly it was designed. Like you can literally not even get through the first level because of how bad the controls are. It's an awful game. Followed closely by Fallout 76. I was not a big fan of that either. So, bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you. Deja vu. Boom. Lydia sneezed before. I've been here. You know?
Go ahead, Will.
I would say Battle for Bikini Bottom multiplayer.
Okay.
Yes.
I got my girlfriend Battle for Bikini Bottom, like the remake,
Mhm.
and they have this multiplayer section that is so god awful that it is a blast to play. So I don't know how to. It's both terrible and awesome.
That works.
I feel that.
A lot of people like it, but getting over it with Benny Foddy. You are this guy in this bucket, and you have a pickaxe, and you have to climb up this absolutely infuriating just tower to get to the moon. And it's the most infuriating game, and some people love that, kind of like the Flappy Birds effect.
Oh right.
And I hated it, but I couldn't stop playing it for some time, and I just had to hard reset to get my mind out of that.
You had to go back to your roots.
Yeah.
All right, Brady, what do you got?
What was it called? Pokemon Snap, where you had to take pictures of the Pokemon?
Yep.
Oh man.
Okay, like what happened? Because like did you just go take photos? Like, was that the biggest con of all time for like $60?
And then on top of that, you had to go to Blockbuster to get them printed.
Yeah,
So
it's like crazy. It was just like a scheme, and it worked.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we all love Pokemon, and we all like Pokemon Snap, but yeah,
and
that's
like,
a big capitalist ploy.
Couldn't you like plug in a camera to your Game Boy too? Was there like that option or something?
Not for Pokemon Snap, but there was Game Boy camera. I do remember
Game
Boy
Boy
camera.
Was just Game Boy camera. Okay.
Right, but you had to buy the printer for it as well because it didn't come with the printer. So
these guys were Apple before they were Apple, just like making new chargers and stuff.
Right.
Game Boy was on top. Well, I guess it's like Nintendo. So
well, yeah,
it checks out.
Just taking all of our money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the best console and maybe the best era, and of course I'm biased by my own childhood, but one of the most underrated and maybe the best eras in video gaming was the Game Boy Advance.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, that thing was the freaking best. You had Wario World 4 or 3, which was one of the most incredible games. You had some of the like the second generation Pokemon games. Oh man, that was just
Advance Wars, dude. And then WarioWare. I loved WarioWare.
Oh my
yeah,
Paper
dude.
Mario.
You remember the Game Boy Advance SP? That really like took it to the next level. Like
Advance Wars 2.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, dude. I love the Game Boy Advance, and it was like the clamshell. So and you could even like like close it like one handed like you could the old school phones.
Will found a Game Boy Advance in a parking lot once. You remember?
No, I found it in a hole.
In a hole?
At a like.
Did you take it?
Wait,
yeah.
Yeah.
I found it in a hole in like a park.
Oh wow.
Some
kid was hiding it there from his mom.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Game Boy Advance. Didn't it revolutionize like backlit screens? Wasn't that Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, because back in the day you had to get a little dongle that would plug into your Game Boy
the camera. Remember?
Right.
And when they came out with the SP and it had the backlit screen, oh man, my dude,
that was such a game changer, dude.
That's why you could play it at night in bed when you were supposed to be going to sleep. That's why it was like this paradigm shift in video gaming.
Right.
100%.
You didn't have to sneak downstairs to your cathode ray projection television and play N64.
And it would just blast you with light so you'd get caught.
You could sneak your Game Boy Advance under the covers and play until an ungodly time at night. So
right. Dude, good times. Good times.
Those were the better days, weren't they?
They were, back before COVID and, being an adult, all of that stuff. So, and then the last one we have is from Lydia. So Lydia, do you want me to read this or do you got it?
I got it.
Okay.
You guys, I have a question because this was kind of hard for me, but then I finally broke it down and decided. If you had to get rid of one of these things, which would it be? Potatoes, rice, pasta, or bread?
I was gonna just like lead with potatoes, but that's French fries.
Potatoes are very versatile. You have to think.
For me, that's an easy pasta. Easy pasta.
Pasta was my answer finally too.
Yeah, I'm not willing to give up any of them.
It's potatoes, rice, pasta.
Potatoes, rice, pasta, bread.
Bread.
If you had to get rid of one, which one would it be?
Oh man.
So while you're thinking, I picked pasta because pasta is not as versatile. Like when you eat pasta, you only eat it with like spaghetti, pasta salad, lasagna. Okay, so like meh. So I picked pasta because I don't eat those things all the time.
Go potatoes.
You're gonna get rid of potatoes?
Yeah.
That's bold.
Wow, that's bold.
I think I'm with Will.
My favorite part about potatoes is making them in curries.
Ooh, curry do be good.
But curry do be good. I think I can go without the French fries.
Yeah, but but think about it. It's potatoes. You got baked potatoes. You got French fries. You've got scalloped potatoes. You've got.
Just saute some potatoes in butter or oil.
Yeah, dude.
He's going without.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to choose rice.
I like it.
Okay, Charlie's choosing
I'll have
rice.
to choose rice. Asian is several different subsets of Asian cuisine are my favorite cuisine. However, I would go with rice because you don't even need Asian cuisine because you can have noodles, which if we want to say those are pasta, or do we when we say rice, we also mean like rice noodles? I'm going too deep into this question.
Yeah. I think just standard rice, the standard rice.
Yeah, you could always get a lau mein.
Yeah. But see, I wouldn't want to get rid of fried rice because fried rice is so good, and I'm just not much of a pasta person. So sorry, Mike, but it's pasta for me.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Mike.
F's in the chat for Mike. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. And before we wrap up, what are y'all's social media platforms, and where can we find Beachfriends merch?
Ooh, social platforms. Beachfriends Band on Instagram. It's Beachfriends on Twitter, and Beachfriends Band on Facebook, and then beachfriendsband.com. Merch, man. Merch is we've talked about it where with all this new artwork coming out for the next few singles, I think the guy that's doing it, Justin Bainey, one of the founders of Clean Hands.
You see his artwork behind Brady.
Yeah, his artwork, some of it is here.
Oh, nice.
He's going to be designing the next few album artworks, and then hopefully some merch too. And so no merch right now, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you're really wanting to feel the vibes, buy a red beanie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like the Zissou beanie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red beanie.
Cool deal. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being on. This has been a great conversation. I'm glad we were able to do it social distance style as well. So just a few last things to take care of business. So you can follow us on all the social media platforms with the handle at The Stevia Show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcast app you listen to. If you're on YouTube, just search for The Stevia Show and subscribe with the notification button. Be sure to smash that like icon. And this is brought to you by Raycon headphones. No, it's not. I'm just being a YouTube person.
I'm sorry, what?
No, on YouTube it's either like Raycon headphones, Raid Shadow Legends. So I'm trying to like
Raid
bounce.
Shadow Legends.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like I was like, when did we get
NordVPN.
Raycon headphones?
Yeah, NordVPN, ExpressVPN.
Oh, Lydia, you didn't get yours?
Oh yeah.
I guess not.
I'm wearing them under. Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. It really threw me off.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out our streams. We stream at least twice a week. Stream schedules. I always have the longest part of this. I feel like
I could break it
are
up.
posted on all platforms monthly and on our Instagram weekly. Anchor producers are able to join multiplayer streams and game chat. Also, we would like to thank our Anchor producers and Patreon producers for their continued support. You can support us for as little as 99 cents a month and receive exclusive Discord roles and bonus episode every month.
Nice. Yeah, I'll need to break those up for you. That way it's like not as condensed, but we also have merchandise available through our links in our bio and show notes. So whenever you visit us online, check out Linktree and click on merch, and we ship nationwide as well. So come hang out, buy a shirt, buy a hat, buy a mask, whatever. We don't care. It's a free country. But above all else, just check out this episode and all of our other episodes, and be sure to also check out Beachfriends as well, because they are for sure releasing they're releasing great content and great music. And if you want to have good vibes during these these bad vibe times, check out Beachfriends. But for now, this is Steven.
100%.
Which are we going next? This is Steven.
This is Charlie.
Okay.
This is Brady.
This is Will.
And this is Lydia.
And we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.